Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for May 4th through the 10th, 2020. So before we begin, I'd just like to make you aware of the next live angel chat, which will be this coming Saturday, May 9th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I just tried to find a little better time where some of the people who gave me their timelines would be able to all be involved, since it seems to stretch all the way around. And so it's not going to be possible for everybody to be on, but at least that was the best that I've planned to choose from. So if you are going to be able to attend, just let me know in the comment section below, and look forward to hearing from you about that. And this is going to be about communicating with your angels, and I'll refine this a little bit more. And also, connecting with angels, and also working with your questions that you may present in your daily practice, and helping you to get more out of your meditations and your communications with the angels and your guides through the type of questions that you present. So anyway, we'll see how that flows and goes. Also, just a reminder too, for the month of May, I am offering my 30-minute reading for $77 for an hour. So this is like a special offer for the month of May for those of you who are furloughed and really feel called to have a reading with me. I always tell people, this is something that you only do if in your heart you feel the strong desire and you're at complete peace about doing that. So I look forward to working with those of you who feel called and led to work with me. All right, so let's just take a moment, kind of clear our minds and relax into our settings. And I really want you to just take a moment of gratitude. And I feel like they really want you to, in this moment, to be grateful for the shelter that you have and that has been provided for you. It's almost like they want you to connect in with your environment, in your home, and just a moment of silent gratitude. Looking around your space, where you can close your eyes and see your space, your home, and your grounds, and every possession that you have, anything that comes to your mind, and silently send love as gratitude for being present in whatever ways that these things provide, the ways that the comfort that they provide for you, and that they are continuing to provide for you despite any concerns and your daily fears about survival. That in this moment, they are still with you, providing you that comfort, providing you whatever it is that you need, warmth, shelter, a space to create, to share love with your family, etc., and to commune with God with a peace of mind. And so right now the angels, because they wrote the word cup, and to me this was about the suit of cups, but they want you to make a relationship, a divine relationship with everything. Be thankful right now even for the cash they're writing, the cash flow that is available to you, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter the amount. For the table, for the food that you have, and all the other goods that are around you. They want you to daily wake up and begin immediately as you wake up from your sleep and open your eyes and start with the gratitude. And you can also go within your memory and those things that are coming up for you, you can remember moments where you felt gratitude or appreciation for those things and give thanks for those moments that you remember that brought you so much happiness. And they want you to go through every detail of your home and your life and start your day off this way. Because through gratitude and appreciation, this practice of reflection, you attract abundance to you. And you continue to perpetuate the opportunities, rewards, and blessings that the universe has always and will always provide. And know that everything that you're experiencing right now, this too shall pass. Just as much as you have reflected about the things that you've had to give up or sacrifice, those good times, this proverb still applies. But the thing that's consistent is our gratitude and our appreciation. To be able to have appreciation and gratitude as a daily practice. Because this is what keeps your alignment with abundance consistent. Those who are able to find the appreciation in the most difficult of times will transform the unpleasantness of your conditions into opportunities. But likewise, when things are going well, we must not forget to be grateful. But we also must remember that those times are followed by times where the tides are low. But your gratitude and your appreciation is what keeps you sort of floating sort of through the center and not really being caught up in the drama of our three-dimensional reality of high tides and low tides. You just see it from a fifth dimensional frame of mind. You see that these dueling forces are creative forces, like yin and yang. They are a part of a whole, and that they are helping you to understand and see your path to discover the opportunities where you can bring enormous blessings through. And for your own development, spiritual development and growth. So be vigilant about appreciation and gratitude and offering this up. Especially when your ego wants to cause you to focus on fear and lack and the loss of something. And it also, especially when your ego wants to boost you with pride, that you forget to, I guess, tread this path of humility and awe. It's almost as if when we it's not to say that we shouldn't enjoy the good times, but we should also have humility and awe during it, knowing that this is an opportunity that comes to us, and to be grateful for it, but to also know that there is a timing for everything, and that when that timing is ready to go into the recycle phase of life, and where we have the beginnings and endings, that you release it and know that you understand that that is no longer of service to you in your life where you are headed, and you let it go. I mean, this is kind of silly, but I'll never forget I had this really beautiful winter coat. It was a lamb's wool. It was cream. And wearing it in New York City is like kind of silly, but I had decided that I was not going to, I don't know if this is the first object, and I guess that's why I'm sharing this with you, that I realized that I had gotten a very, very great deal, and it made me feel, I don't know, it's just this beautiful feeling, and I felt that it was special, but in that moment I knew that someday this coat would have to go, that it would no longer be in my life for whatever reason. And the one thing I wasn't going to be worried about is if something splashed up on it. And I just told myself, when it's time, if and when something happens to the coat, that I will be grateful for the time that I was able to wear it. And I'd never had that experience with anything. You know, most times when we get something, we're, greatly afraid of something happening to it. That's why we're afraid of people robbing us and taking things from us, because that is our ego not clouding our spiritual judgment about the impermanence of things. All things in the three-dimensional reality are impermanent. And this is a challenge to our ego, but not for our soul, that doesn't often get to come through and share, at the very least, an equal space or position in our daily musings of life. And so our ego really has been running the roost. It's been in control and dictating our reactions to the physical reality and about our possessions. And that's why we have feelings that are very cute, like betrayal, and we have this great deal of suspicion, and we feel threatened very easily, and the survival, and that's why so much hoarding is going on right now. If we were always appreciating and we were always keeping this sort of detachment to the things, we are grateful for them being in our lives and we receive them with open arms, these blessings, but that we understand that they are in our life for the time that they are useful. And that time that they are useful is not known readily to us. But we prepare ourselves and we hold this within ourselves, knowing that when something happens to them, or when they are lost, or when they are damaged, or when we have to move or transitions occur, that we understand in that moment that we're in the midst of another powerful unfolding of life. Every aspect of life, every transition in life is a new beginning and a new opportunity. And so we let something go as something comes in. We may not know what that is, but we set our hearts to being open to that. And that appreciation and that gratitude will help you to remember this throughout, so that this is how you don't get drawn into the hysterics of the challenges that change present. And change presents a challenge and a conflict because we do not daily prepare our hearts. We do not daily prepare our faith to understand that it's just all about timing. Like nature is full of timing, where things come and go. The seasons come and go. Flowers blossom and then flowers decay. It's just, we are born and we live and we die. But then we die and we are born and we live until we are born incarnated. And that is a death to the soul from that non-physical reality. Coming into this reality is a death. So the exit of our exit we call death, and our birth are both portals that are like a death. Because the soul goes from being one with all that is and having that awareness, and then comes into a finite reality and loses a great part of all of that. And yet, the soul looks forward to the incarnation. But what you don't know, because it is veiled from us, is that the soul, when it's time, the soul also is still looking forward to its reemergence into non-physical. So let's practice, I guess, a law of detachment, a healthy detachment, where we just understand and appreciate the need for things to be in our lives for a time, and then for them to move on. That's the aspect that they would like for you to appreciate and have gratitude for. That everything that is in your life remains there because it is useful. And the universe that gives it to you knows this. And in your heart, you do too. But our ego can cloud this knowing and you forget. And then you hang on a little too long, a little too long than you're supposed to. Or you hold on longer than you're supposed to. And that's when you feel the pain. That's when the suffering begins, the conflict, the challenges. So release yourself from this through the law of detachment. Practice this through this gratitude and this understanding about things serving a purpose and then no longer serving that purpose, making way for that which now will serve you and reward you and others. Because as you are lifted up, others are lifted by you. And so you must allow the blessings of change to flow in and out of your life through what you perceive as ups and downs is really flowing in and out. It's not really up and down. It's in and out. It's the give, receive, release, acceptance. All right. And it's profoundly beautiful. And I hope you do understand. Archangel Azrael. And this is kind of appropriate since, as we're all probably discovering, and I know I have, I know I've lost a student that I once taught and her mom, and that I've lost a colleague's husband has passed. And so from the virus. And so this message before, didn't know this was going to be the card, but it makes sense. And it doesn't make sense to our pain and our suffering. And I'm not oblivious to that because I have lost people in my life. And since I was a little boy, I've known so many people, not only in my family, but in my community to die. And it's interesting because some people don't experience that until they're in their 20s or 30s. I've known people since living in New York that, say that this is their first time or they haven't had someone to die that was close to them. And, I grew up very close to pretty much everyone in my family, in my community, in my church community, in my school community. I mean, we were very, very close. That was the time I think that I was born in. And I think, things have definitely changed. There was definitely social distancing there. Everybody was in your life, your neighbors, they butted in, your church community would butt in. I mean, and everybody welcomed it. And that's how we kept each other uplifted and inspired and encouraged, children to do well and to, succeed. So it really was a village, that kind of mentality that I grew up in Virginia, in the South. And so, this is a message where your loved ones and the people that you may have known to have crossed over are just letting you know that they're okay. And they want you to understand this law of detachment, because where they have gone to and what they are now experiencing as a consequence of this rebirth. I think that we should call when someone's born, their birth and their death really should be everyone's rebirth. That we don't even need the term death because it's not accurate at all. And so I'm going to remove that term from my consciousness at this very moment because it is a rebirth. And the happiness and fulfillment that they experience is beyond our comprehension, but not completely without our ability to understand. And so they are freer and they are omnipresent. I mean, I remember being on a phone call with my healing group, and one of the members had just had a dear friend pass, and she was talking about how she went to this lake where they used to go, and she was just watching. She was thinking of her, and I heard the person say, in my thoughts, I'm not only standing there with you at that time, looking at it, but I'm now a part of all of that. So they become a part of the entire scene of what we see in a very narrow framework. I mean, we're looking at the sky. We see it's like from one point to the next. That's our experience. But to us, the sky is not something that we can touch or reach. The tree over there is not something we can touch or reach unless we move towards it. But for them, they are a part of it. They are not reaching for anything. They are one with it all at the same time. And this is an experience that now may not serve you in your grief and your loss, but this is an experience that now serves them in their fulfillment, in their rebirth. And it's not completely consoling, but it definitely is awe-inspiring to contemplate. And so contemplate their new birth, their freedom, their oneness with all elements of life, physical and non-physical. They are part of it now. And yet they are still consciousness. This is why in some of the meditations we were doing this week, it was about not letting go of the physical, like thinking of an angel in a physical form, just connect with the energy. And then go into that quantum energy field where you only experience yourself as energy. And do this. If you really want to play with your loved ones who have crossed on, just allow yourself to go to that place where you are just connecting with energy, your own energy, and then call in your loved one's energy. And better yet, what you're really doing is just being aware of their energy. So they are always with you. God, all of the beings. No, you're not separate, except in your ego consciousness, you see yourself as a form, and therefore it categorizes everything as a division. But once you go and you relax and as you meditate and you feel yourself, don't see, but feel yourself as just pure positive energy. And you're no longer really truly aware of your own physical body. Then whatever you focus upon now comes into your awareness. So you could focus on your loved one and you will be all of a sudden become enlightened about their new birth awareness. I had this experience with my father's father, whom I didn't spend a lot of time with throughout my life and probably didn't understand him as much throughout my life. And recently I tuned into him and I had no idea. His soul was so brilliant and high in frequency. It was such a beautiful experience to not relate to him as he was and whatever judgments I had about that, but to experience him in this beautiful splendor of light and frequency. And so this is the gift they give to you. All right, so let's move on. And let's take a look at the messages coming up for the week. And so we have the card, the Moon. So this is really about our intuition and paying attention to the cycles of the emotional cycles that we're moving through right now. And boy, in the last few weeks, see, this whole shutdown is really starting to get to people. And the reasons it's getting to you is because you spent the first fighting, and you may find yourself not being able to fight and feeling really low about it, like you don't know what to do and what's next and how to overcome this, and you are maybe starting to feel the surrender to what needs to unfold. And there are, this is a reboot period. This is the purpose for this. And the earth is rebooting because she is always in a practice of detachment, but it's taking us a while to reboot because we do not practice the law of detachment. We are grieving all kinds of loss of our loved ones, of our jobs, our roles, our pride. All of these things are under scrutiny by your ego, who is just almost like it's antagonizing you a bit about these things. So one of the things I really got a sense of, and when you go into meditation with your loved ones, they're going to give you a sense of this too, because I think this is something heaven really wants you to know, that this is the best of times, whether you realize it or not. And some of you have, because in the silence and the isolation and the having to really slow down, that you started to realize that there were things that weren't serving you. And they will no longer serve you if you cling to them. They will end up being a detriment to you. And so this is a time for you to really tune in, listen, become aware, really become aware. Our hawk here with those eyes that has the ability to see from great distances and to see that greater perspective. Allow yourself to retrieve this knowledge and this wisdom. And this next card is the Seeker, which is the Fool. And this is all leading you to a new path. This is all leading you to a new path. It's leading us all on a new journey collectively and individually. And so this is an opportunity to leap, to transition. This is a moment where you can leap from where you are to something far more, God, I can't even find the word, but something far more than what you could have expected ordinarily, because of the amount of freedom that has been forced upon you. That now gives you the space and the time to work towards doing them. You no longer have the distractions on your time or anything to prevent you or give you the excuse to not be able to do it. So take advantage of this time. We have two major arcana cards, which is saying these are the big themes in your life right now. That you're going through these cycles, these emotional cycles, because you are grieving being out of time and reality that you were in before the shutdown. That time and reality, a lot of it was just, ego driven. You felt obligated, you felt stuck, you felt trapped, and you had conditioned yourself that this is your reality. Now all that's gone, and we're pretty much all on an even keel. And so things are opening up. I just, for a weird example, but I saw that like one of the law schools was getting rid of those testing. So something like that might have been someone's reason not to pursue something like that. And now that barrier is removed. And so in that way, things like this are leveling the playing field, and you're going to be able to make some gigantic leaps if you take advantage. So this is about you honoring those cycles and taking those leaps of faith. Oh my goodness. And we have another major arcana card. And this is about, really focusing in and, being ready, trusting yourself, knowing that you have all of the elements within you to manifest what you need. So this is, for me, definitely about no delays, no, trying to put another barrier, because that's what we do. We make up excuses. And this card is saying, no, you have it all. You just need to listen to your own heart. You need to follow the beat of your own drum, and stop trying to play the beats that other people give to you. Get off of everybody else's agenda and now hone in on your agenda, your spiritual agenda, which is really about expressing who you truly are. Nobody's asking you to go out and be, a prophet or something. But in your work, in where you feel called in your career, be who you truly are. Trust your talents and your gifts. This is definitely someone who exemplifies the magician, a talent, an ability. And there's that innovation of the magician, and ingenuity. So you have the ability to channel power right now, to channel your power into something extraordinary. All right, and let's take a look at the card I already pulled from the bottom. So the Eight of Water, and there's that emotion of moving on. You know that right now it's time for you to move on, to move with the flow. To move with the flow. To practice law. This is basically law of detachment here. You understand that something is calling you. Yes, it grieves you, but you know that what's going on in your life is no longer serving you. And once you move forward with the opportunities that are coming towards you, you will feel renewed in these new blessings that will come your way. So you really have to flow with the tide. Go with the direction of the stream. And it's almost this feeling like as the stream is moving, it's almost easy for you to move forward because the current is calling you. Now, this is an emotional current. And that's why it's been very emotional in the last weeks, because it's starting to really hit us, reality, but our spiritual reality, our truth is starting to hit us because our ego has been blocking, sort of, I don't know what because I never gonna, okay, they wrote offense. I don't know if it's defense or offense, but it's almost like your ego has been standing out there going like this, like, like the guy in the who protects the goal, in the soccer. That's what your ego's been doing. but it's been doing it against you in terms of the opportunities and the blessings they were trying to get through. And because you're afraid of change, your ego sets a standard of what it should let in of those blessings, which is what creates these delays for you. And the sense of delay. Okay? So I send you lots of love and angel blessings. And if you're looking for an angel reading, you can contact me at theangelschool.com. You can find that in the description link below. If you're and don't forget about you can sign up for the 30-minute reading, which you will receive for an hour. This 30-minute is $77. And this goes to clients I've had before and new clients just through the month of May. And, join us on my Facebook page for the daily card messages. And we were all sharing about the decks that we're using right now during the coronavirus. What are your favorite decks, Oracle or Tarot card decks? And it was very interesting. So you can find that post on my page as well. I've made announcements about the special reading offer at this time as well. So I'll be spending some time there, and especially after this reading on my Facebook page. And so if you haven't been to my Facebook page, please join us there. And I'll be available just to sort of listen to people's reflections about the reading. All right, so have a beautiful week, everyone, and God bless you all.